What up, people? Welcome to my first Walking Dead video of 2015. Okay, so Telltale's Walking Dead Season 1 versus Season 2. Which one is the best? Now, this is my own personal opinion. You guys are able to share yours in the comments below. Happy to hear it. But I got a couple topics that I'll be talking about here. The overall story of Season 1 versus Season 2. The characters. Which one do I think had better characterization? The technical aspects, basically talking about how smooth the graphics run or how the game looked, and any glitches or anything like that. The choices, which choices do I think were more meaningful or just like had a more emotional impact, and the ending. We're gonna talk about which season finishes off right. And in this discussion, I'm not including the 400 days DLC. That is actually extra content not related to the overall season 1 story, so that's excluded from this discussion. So who has the better story? This one is going to be season 1 for me. Alright, I believe season 1 had a more compelling storyline from episode 1 to episode 5 than season 2 did. Now, just do a quick recap of what happened in season 1. Lee Everett, convicted felon. You stumble upon this girl due to circumstances of this apocalypse coming underway, the zombie apocalypse. You find out that she's all alone. You meet Clementine for the first time, and you make it your sole mission to protect this girl under any circumstances. Make sure her survival is the utmost importance in your goal. So you go through different places. Herschel's farm, the drugstore, the train, to Savannah, and you're constantly developing a relationship with this girl. You're both learning more things. She's learning how to protect herself, how to use a gun, how to stay hidden, and you're also dealing with the hardships this new world will have you encountering. You know, how to deal with zombies, how to deal with death, and everything else. And it's just a very satisfying storyline. If it was a movie, I would watch the hell out of it. Season 2, now the storyline season 2 wasn't that bad either, okay? I'm not complaining about it, okay? But, so you start off as Clementine, and you get to see her grow up a little bit, 16-month time skip, her dealing with the apocalypse. Everybody's kind of seasoned. Anybody who's left over kind of knows how to handle a zombie, so this is not new to anybody else. You stumble upon this group of survivors in this house. You become a part of that group, and then you run away. And meeting Kenny, that was one of the highlights of the show. Reuniting with Kenny, and then Carver, the villain, coming in, terrorizing the place. And then in episode 3, us being captured by Carver and defeating him by episode 3. I think this was the highlight of season 2. I really like that part right there. And then after episode 3, it went downhill for me. The characters in general, they seem to lack direction, or kind of confused about what to do. No clear defined leader, with our leader being kind of out of commission. Was kind of Kenny? Was it kind of Luke? We don't really know. The leadership is questionable. And in episode 5, I mean, what would have happened if Arvel wasn't there? If Arvel didn't have any place to go or anything like that, I don't know what the characters would have done. It would have been a completely different episode 5. And I just think it really didn't intensify until the final 30 minutes. You're like, okay, we gotta get this thing rolling. But up until that point, I just thought the characters kind of lost direction. The story just went awry from that point after episode 3, in my personal opinion. Okay, so story, I give it to season 1. The characters, the people we met along the journey. Which season had the best character development or characterization? Just letting us know who these people are, so when they do die or disappear, we have a more emotional attachment to them and we actually feel it. I'm gonna give this over to season 1 as well. In season 2, they never gave us any downtime to actually talk to these people. Stuff that we come to know of and got used to in season 1. We had time to talk to, Katja, Glenn, Lily, Omid, Krista, all these characters, to find out who they are, who they were before the apocalypse and what kind of stuff they're interested on. In season 2, most of our conversations with these characters are reactive to the situation. No time to actually explore who these people are. So that I think is a a downside of season 2 we didn't get a chance to explore. There are some exceptions to this in season 2 that I realized. Jane, I feel like she's highly developed. We got to learn more about who she was, her backstory and stuff. Carver too. Also Nick, I think he was pretty good developed before. We got to learn more about, you know, his mom, stuff he was going through, the business he was going to start up with Luke and stuff before everything hit the fan. So I thought those were really good, but just not enough of that in season 2 for them to take the cake on this one. So season 1 takes the win on this one. But as far as villains go, I have to give it to Carver from season 2 over season 1's The Stranger. Okay. Carver, he was just a way more interesting and compelling villain, you know, very maniacal. You guys really wanted to defeat him, to stop this man. We really didn't have that kind of thing for the Stranger. If he would let Clementine go, everything would have been good. But Carver had to suffer a little bit, and it was very satisfying to see him die too. That's how you can tell when you got a good villain, when you're very satisfied to see him perish. Which season had better choices? Now this one, it's all me right here, guys. You probably disagree on this one, but definitely season 1 for me had the better choices. You know, whether to save Doug or Carly, you know, you only giving 4 rations of food and giving out to 10 different people, that was a crazy choice. You know, whether to cut off your arm or, you know, keep it, whether to tell the group members that you have been bitten, you know, those were crazy choices, man. Also morally gray choices. There's no right and wrong to those. The choices in season 2, they seem more right and wrong. You can go out of your way to make sure a person does not survive. You can go out of your way to make sure that you know, you rat someone out to someone else. You snitch on them, like telling Walter about Nick and not redeeming Nick, you know, getting Nick killed and stuff like that. Choosing to shoot Carver at a moment where he could possibly kill Alvin. You know, those choices right there, they're you kind of know what's going to happen after you make those choices. These, on the other hand, you really don't know, okay, how it's going to turn out. So I think season 1 had the better choices, being the exception as season 2 at the end. I think they had some of the toughest choices to make at the end of season 2, which would be the ending, which is what I'm going to talk about last. The ending. Which ending had the best one for me? And here I'm talking about the final scenes of the season, be it that, you know, Lee and Clementine facing the Stranger and then them talking it out as Lee dies, and then in season 2 where you're with Kenny and Jane and you're in the truck and everything past that point right there. Which one do I think was more satisfying? I'm gonna have to give this to season 2. Now I'm pretty sure people are gonna disagree with me on this one. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Season 1, yes, it was very emotional, very heartfelt, and you know, whether to have Clementine shoot Lee or, you know, leave him to turn into a walker was just a crazy choice. Definitely turning up the waterworks right there. But season 2, I like how they gave players the reins to just have that diversity. They gave you the best choice. They saved the best choice for the end. You know, Kenny or Jane, it came at me sideways. I didn't know that they were going to even have this kind of transaction to go down. In season 1, episode 4, you knew Lee was bitten, so you knew his final hour was approaching. But the stuff at the end of season 2 was just crazy, and there's so many different ways you could choose. You know, you could choose to have both of them die. You can have Kenny kill Jane and then shoot Kenny and then just go off with a baby by yourself. You can just go completely with Jane. You can go completely with Kenny, and just the possibilities that opens up for season 3. It was a very good ending, man. Very satisfying, and it proves that choice does really matter. But we really won't know the consequence of that until season 3 is actually opening up. But I really enjoyed the ending for season 2. So guys, overall, out of everything I've said, which season do I like the best? Which one I think is best? It goes to season 1. Season 1 is the complete package, over almost 2 hours each episode, with season 2 episodes being roughly an hour and 30 minutes. So in season 1, you're getting like a whole extra 20% more content than you got in season 2. So that be it, and plus the story, plus the characters, plus the choices, bam, season 1 takes it away from me, man. So that is my full layout of why season 1 is better than season 2. If you guys disagree and you want to voice your opinion below, or you agree, you want to give me a thumbs up, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. It's whatever. And also, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe if you are a fan of Walking Dead. More discussions and topics like this are on the way. Walking Dead Wednesday, something new I'm trying to start up right here, trying to put out at least one Walking Dead video every Wednesday. We'll see, as long as the topics and discussions keep flowing, then I can keep making videos.